Okay, so now I put a weld on top of this pin. Let's hope my measurements were correct. Worried of that. Hey guys, Kapper here. Another cool mission today. I had a disc last couple of years and it didn't work as good as I had hoped for breaking up sod, so I ended up selling that, and now I have a ripper, a homemade ripper, Clark, aka chisel plow. However, I had an opportunity just come up to purchase a combo, a custom made from my buddy Cameron Haney up in Mulkeytown, Illinois. It's a combination of cutting discs in the front and like chisel plow slash ripper teeth spring loaded in the back row. So we're gonna go pick this up, and I'm gonna show it to you and tell you how you can get one of these if you are interested as well. So we're almost there. We'll see what Cameron's up to today. The graveyard of things to be resurrected. Man, if you can't have a little fun just poking around in a lot like this, I don't know what to say. Maybe get out a little bit more or something, but whenever you get a chance to hit a yard like this, I definitely recommend it. Cameron specializes in rebuilding older equipment and like making like this, you know, custom made. That looks like a totally custom made 2-row planter. That's my guess is what that is, but look at the discs on it. So I asked Cameron about this unique looking planter, and he said that's like a hard ground planter, mainly in areas like Texas and Oklahoma where the ground is super hard. So that first big chisel breaks the ground open, and then the seed drop tube, you know, drops the seed in the ground, and then those small 3 chisels behind it kind of cover it up. So once again, learned something new stopping at old Cameron's playground here. Did you get 100 mile an hour?
It took my sign. Like I say, it's got 23-inch notch blades on it, all new bearings on the axles, twisted shovels, spring-loaded shanks. Depending on how many horsepower, depending on how many shanks. You can run anywhere from 4 to 6 shanks depending on the horsepower. Make them, like I say, they're 6 foot wide, the cutting is. That way you can get them on the trailer and still home.
So what do you say you need a minimum for this, like 50, 60 horse?
That one, yeah, that needs about 50, 60 horse minimum. All right. For that, for a 5 to 6 shanker, 4-wheel drive tractors will help for us pulling. If you're a 50 horse 4-wheel drive, it'll help pull the 6 shank, you know, stuff like that.
Okay.
Spring loaded, that way, that's like I say, they got what they call like a breakaway. That way if you get hung a root or something, you don't tear nothing up. It springs.
Do you make them smaller than this one?
I can make them down to 4 foot.
Okay.
So we can make them little as 4 foot, 4 shanks up to, like I say, that's a 6 foot, 6 shank. I mean, that's.
So if somebody wanted one of these, what did it cost them?
That and there's $1,500.
$1,500. All right. Boy, she looks pretty stout. Looking forward to getting in the dirt.
It will turn it over. And if the points are reversible, if you get where you, so far the one point's bad, just take it, reverse the shank, and you got a brand new point on the other side. The shanks, the chisel points are reversible.
Nice.
Okay, so what Cameron does is he purchases these very big farm implements,
and then he fabricates them down into small units like this. These have 23-inch coulters, and these are John Deere bearings on them. And so he makes them into smaller units, 6 foot, 5 foot, 4 foot, so people like me and you can use them for, you know, food plotting or land management. You can get these on the market out there, but like this unit is like 3 times as heavy duty as one that you could buy from a local, you know, Rural King or Order. So that's why I gravitate towards these, because they're just super heavy duty. And if you've watched my channel or had your own experiences, you know that in rocky country or where you got stumps and roots, it's really not that hard to bend or break a piece of equipment. So let's keep going on today's vlog. So I stopped at Rural King and I got all the bushings to get this set up for my quick attach. That's a Cat 2, and then I got a Cat 3 bushing over that. This is a Cat 2. Really, redneck? And a Cat 3 over top of that for the quick attach. I may add some support here though. I mean, he built it with these 2 supports by design, so I may add something here. I'm not sure, but this is pretty stout implement steel. We'll see how it goes. Okay, and just as a side note, this spot right here only a few months ago was all woods. I don't know what's all going in here, but this is why we invest in land. They're gobbling it up pretty fast, and obviously faster in some areas, but consider thinking of buying some land if you ever have the chance, because they're not making any more of it, and that's kind of why we enjoy buying land. It's also a good investment, but you get to enjoy the nature and whatnot as well along the way. Alright, so I had to take off about an 1/8 inch on each of these steel tabs here, because the quick attach will barely fit in between there. So this is a dual nut one, but I can't put the inside nut here because the clearance is just too tight. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to put a few welds right up here on the top of this pin, because that hook, you know, that hook comes like this. So I'm going to have to weld it on the top, which I don't like doing, but these are pretty beefy. These are Cat 2, and that Cat 1 on that other ripper held up pretty good, so I'm pretty sure a Cat 2 in there will hold up. And I guess worst case, I have to start over again if it does break, but I don't think it's going to. And then I'm gonna weld a steel plate across here, so I'm going to tie this one in with this brace right here. And I think that will be plenty to hold this thing together. Not too bad. This side was better than the other. Still got to clean that a little. Alright, this is a much better weld on this one. And you see on the back side you got your bolt and lock nut. I still don't know though if this is going to be enough. The problem is I can't weld all the way around it because of the hook. The clearance is so tight, I need all of that space, every 16th. You know, if the hook came out here, I could weld all the way around that. See, that's the issue. So I'm gonna ponder it for a minute. Okay, so I added a little bit more weld down here on the front and took a grinder to that, but I can't lose any of that clearance on the bottom where that hook goes. All right, there it is, cleaned up a little bit. I'm on the fence on this one right now. I'm debating on, you know, putting a tack weld on this inside or putting a lock washer back on, which is going to suck this tight, and it's going to be pulling this way on this weld. Not sure which way I'm going to go on that yet, but if I took measurements right, I need to replicate that over here, and then it'll be really close. We'll see. So here's where I'm calling it a day. I'm pretty done, but it's pretty much ready for paint or primer, and we're gonna see if I miss the measurement or something don't work, if I'm gonna have to call and beg Phil to come over and redo it with me. But I'm pretty sure on the measurements. The only thing I'm not sure of is between that weld and a lock. I'm gonna use them locking nuts and bolts on the back. It's the only thing I'm not sure of, if that weld is going to be strong enough right there. Other than that, I think everything else is golden. So it's going to be another test. It is angled down a little bit, but that's just due to the angle of this steel tab weld here. All right, we're all set. I was able to get this one bent back up just a smidge. That 5-foot pipe, even bent the end of the pipe a little, so that weld was pretty darn good there. But now they're nice and lined up. Good deal. Little shot of paint, that'll make it fit just perfect. Just paint it if it don't look good, right? Or it don't work good. We'll see what happens, probably tomorrow or the next day. I'm definitely wiped out.